Welcome to Dreadful Visions. I'm your host, and today I'll be diving into the bone-chilling world of true 4th of July horror stories. Get ready to be on the edge of your seat as we explore spine-tingling tales from the shadows. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more terrifying content. Dreadful Echoes, a sinister 4th of July tale. The crackling of fireworks filled the air as families gathered to celebrate the 4th of July. It was supposed to be a joyous occasion, but little did I know that this year would forever haunt my nightmares. I lived in a small town nestled deep within the woods. The festivities were always grand, with the entire community coming together. This year, however, an eerie anticipation loomed over the town, like an impending storm. As the sun began to set, casting an orange glow across the landscape, I joined the crowd at the local park. Laughter and excitement filled the air, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister was hiding in the shadows. Once the darkness had settled, the fireworks display began. Brilliant explosions of color filled the sky, illuminating the faces of the awestruck crowd. But amidst the bursts of light, I caught a glimpse of a figure lurking in the distance. It was tall and slender, with eyes that glinted with an otherworldly glow. Fear gripped my heart, but I convinced myself it was merely a trick of the imagination. Determined to enjoy the evening, I turned my attention back to the fireworks. Yet the figure haunted the periphery of my vision, an unwelcome presence that refused to fade away. As the final firework erupted in a shower of sparks, the crowd erupted in applause. Relieved, I thought the strange encounter was over, but I couldn't have been more wrong. I decided to head home, taking a shortcut through the woods. The moon shone brightly overhead, casting long, eerie shadows on the forest floor. The air grew colder, and an unsettling silence enveloped the woods, as if nature itself was holding its breath. Suddenly, a rustling sound echoed from the bushes nearby. My heart skipped a beat, and I quickened my pace. I glanced over my shoulder and saw nothing but darkness, but I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. As I reached the edge of the woods, relief washed over me. But just as I thought I was safe, a chilling breeze whispered in my ear, carrying a voice that froze my blood. "You can't escape the horror that awaits you." Terrified, I sprinted towards the safety of my home, but with each step, the woods seemed to stretch endlessly, the path never ending. Panic set in as I realized I was trapped in a nightmare that refused to release its hold on me. Finally, I stumbled upon an old cabin, dilapidated and forgotten. Desperation took over, and I pushed open the creaking door, seeking refuge from the horrors outside. Inside, the air was thick with a musty odor. Shadows danced on the decaying walls, and a sense of foreboding filled the room. I noticed an old photo on a dusty table, showing a group of people, their faces distorted and eerie. A sudden realization hit me like a thunderbolt. The figure I had seen at the park, the voice that whispered in the wind, they were all connected to this cursed place. The cabin held a dark secret, and I had stumbled upon its twisted reality. I tried to flee, but the door slammed shut with a deafening thud, trapping me inside. Panic consumed me as the walls began to close in, suffocating the air. The photographs on the walls came to life, their haunting faces contorted with malevolent glee. I screamed for help, but my voice was drowned out by sinister laughter that echoed through the cabin. Shadows swirled around me, clawing at my sanity, as the walls closed in further. Just as I thought all hope was lost, the clock struck midnight, and a blinding light pierced through the darkness. The cabin vanished, leaving me standing in the clearing, disoriented and shaken. The dawn broke, and the town slowly woke to a new day. The memories of that terrifying night remained etched in my mind, but as I glanced at the calendar, a shiver ran down my spine. The date read July 4th, and I knew, deep down, that the horrors I had experienced were bound to repeat themselves, year after year. Harbor Haven's Curse, Unleashing the Wrath of the Sea. The quaint coastal town of Harbor Haven buzzed with excitement as the 4th of July festivities were about to begin. I had recently moved there, seeking solace in its serene beauty. Little did I know that beneath the picturesque facade, a dark secret lurked. As evening fell, I joined the crowd gathered near the harbor, eagerly awaiting the fireworks display. The smell of sea salt filled the air, and a gentle breeze rustled through the flags adorning the streets. But as the first firework burst in a dazzling display of colors, something strange happened. Instead of dissipating in the sky, the smoke from the fireworks formed twisted figures. Faces twisted with anguish stared back at me, their expressions frozen in eternal torment. I blinked in disbelief, convinced my eyes were playing tricks on me. Seeking an escape from the eerie sight, I ventured towards a nearby lighthouse. Its towering presence offered a sense of security amidst the growing unease. But as I climbed the spiraling staircase, whispers seeped through the walls, carrying a chilling message of despair. At the top, a lone figure stood, his back hunched, gazing out towards the horizon. His gnarled hands clutched a lantern, casting an eerie glow on his weathered face. "Beware the sea's wrath on this cursed night," he muttered, his voice filled with ancient sorrow. Confusion mingled with fear as I tried to make sense of his words. The sea, usually a source of tranquility, seemed to harbor a sinister secret. With a heavy heart, I descended the lighthouse, determined to uncover the truth. Venturing towards the shoreline, I noticed a peculiar pattern etched into the sand, a warning from a forgotten era. It depicted a monstrous sea creature, its tentacles coiling around ships, dragging them into the abyss. The locals had long dismissed it as a mere legend, but I couldn't ignore the foreboding sense of urgency. As midnight approached, a storm brewed in the distance, clouds swirling with an unnatural darkness. The waves crashed against the shore with increasing fury, as if the sea itself had awakened, thirsting for vengeance. With trepidation, I watched as the first fireworks soared into the night sky. But instead of admiration, a primal fear gripped my soul. Each explosion seemed to awaken a malevolent force beneath the waves, beckoning it towards the shore. Soon the sea churned with a monstrous rage. Tentacles surged from the depths, tearing through boats and sweeping them away. Panic ensued as the townspeople realized that the legend was horrifyingly real. I joined a group desperately seeking refuge within the lighthouse, its towering structure now a symbol of fragile hope. But the sea creature, a leviathan of nightmares, crashed against the shore, its fury shaking the very foundations of our sanctuary. As the lighthouse trembled, I noticed a glimmer of light emanating from the lantern held by the old man I had encountered earlier. In that fleeting moment, I understood the truth. He was the guardian, the only one who could tame the wrath of the sea. With a determined resolve, I reached out and took hold of the lantern. The light within pulsed with ancient power, casting a brilliant glow that pierced through the darkness. With each step towards the shoreline, the creature's fury subsided, its monstrous form retreating back into the depths. As the first rays of dawn broke over the horizon, the sea calmed, its anger spent. The town stood in awe, witnessing the dawning of a new day, tinged with both relief and mourning for those lost to the sea's wrath. From that day on, the legend of Harbor Haven's cursed 4th of July became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the fragile balance between the human realm and the mysteries of the deep. Cursed desires, haunting secrets of Whispering Pines. In the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, the small town of Whispering Pines was known for its scenic beauty and rich folklore. On the 4th of July, the town hosted a unique celebration, where locals gathered around the ancient wishing oak to make wishes for the year ahead. But this year, something sinister lurked within the old tree's shadow. As twilight descended, I joined the cheerful crowd, their laughter filling the air. Excitement buzzed around the wishing oak, its gnarled branches stretching like bony fingers towards the sky. Legend had it that the tree held a mysterious power, granting the purest of wishes. Hesitantly, I approached the oak and closed my eyes, pondering my heart's deepest desire. A strange sense of foreboding washed over me, but I pushed it aside, thinking it was nothing more than nerves. With a whispered wish, I opened my eyes, and a sudden gust of wind rustled the leaves, enveloping me in an eerie embrace. The townspeople cheered, assuming the tree had granted my wish, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something had gone terribly wrong. As the night wore on, a peculiar series of events unfolded. People's wishes began to come true, but with terrifying twists. One man wished for wealth, and the next day, he discovered his newfound fortune was cursed, leading to tragedy for those around him. Another woman wished for eternal beauty, only to find herself trapped in a perpetual cycle of aging and rejuvenation. Fear spread like wildfire, and panic gripped the town. The once vibrant celebration turned into a haunting nightmare. Whispers of a malevolent spirit trapped within the wishing oak echoed through the town, its dark power unleashed on those who dared to ask for too much. Desperate to unravel the mystery, I delved into the town's ancient archives, seeking clues from centuries past. There, I discovered a chilling tale of a witch, Agatha, who was wrongly accused and bound to the very oak that now loomed ominously over us. According to the records, Agatha had the gift of granting wishes, but her heartache and anger turned her power into a curse. The townspeople feared her abilities and accused her of dark deeds, leading to her tragic fate, forever condemned within the wishing oak. Realizing that the malevolent spirit was none other than Agatha seeking revenge, I knew I had to find a way to break her curse. With the help of the town's wisest elder, we devised a plan to confront the vengeful spirit. On the eve of the next 4th of July, a circle of brave souls, myself included, gathered around the wishing oak. Armed with compassion and empathy, we chanted ancient words of understanding, urging Agatha to release her anger and find peace. At first, the tree trembled with rage, its branches lashing out, but as our voices grew stronger, a faint glow emerged from within the oak. Agatha's tormented spirit wavered, torn between her hatred and the flicker of forgiveness. With tears streaming down my cheeks, I pleaded with Agatha, sharing the pain of her unjust fate and the sorrow she had caused. In that moment, I saw a flicker of humanity in her eyes, and her grip on the town's wishes loosened. Finally, with a burst of ethereal light, Agatha's spirit soared free from the oak, vanishing into the night sky. The wishing oak, now devoid of malevolence, returned to its former state, a mere tree once more. From that day on, the town of Whispering Pines held a different kind of celebration. Instead, that wraps up our bone-chilling journey through true 4th of July horror stories. I hope you enjoyed the frights and thrills that Dreadful Visions brought to you today. If you want more terrifying content, don't forget to subscribe and check out our other spine-tingling videos. Until next time, stay haunted.